Coming up.
This is insane. If this really happens, then I'm really done with Chanel as long as Lena is there, because that would be so rude. There is a serious, and I quote, S-H-I-T, I've been told, there is serious S-H-I-T going down in fashion, and Chanel isn't the only one getting ready to crack, allegedly. Whole houses are allegedly on the brink of just falling to the ground. No one knows who the next designer will be at Chanel because Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. We got updates on the Virginie Viard and Chanel sitch. The situation is evolving, as you guys know. Whether you like it or not, life just keeps going on and happening, okay? You can't just keep it frozen in time, even though sometimes it kind of makes you feel as if it would have been better if Virginie stayed at Chanel. Some people did not like her designs at Chanel. Some people did. In my case, it was a hit or miss. But that's besides the point. We got to see the bigger picture here. Luxury is also about stability. Having Virginie at the helm of artistic directorship of Chanel meant that, she worked there for 4 decades, basically. She knows how to carry that legacy. She's a living vocabulary of Coco Chanel designs and history. She is stability. Whether you like her designs or not, she was stability. And I think she was the last stability Chanel had. Now that she's gone, may the odds be ever in your favor, Lena Nair, and whatever is left of Chanel. Let's get to it, because I got an update. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today, get access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob, all spelled together there as well for extra perks. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream several times a week. Come join the fun, come join the chats. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. And for those of you who do not like to hear allegedly many times, tune out. But for the rest of you, let's learn something together. Stick around. You might just get lucky. Yeah. So, thumb up the video. I have received more intel from my wonderful source. You know who you are. But of course, all of this information is alleged. It's kind of like you could say hearsay. So, for the collection that's about to hit, and I have a couple of wonderful, wonderful supporters of the Fashion Bunker who are also lucky and fortunate enough to be haute couture clients of Chanel, yeah? And they're also telling me that, they're going to keep an eye out on the 25th of June. It's just in a couple of days, really, coming up, haute couture Chanel collection on the 25th of June. They're going to try to ask some people there, can we get some more intel behind the scenes? But the question that's been on our minds, and all of our minds who are into fashion and fashion history is, would Virginie Viard, after she left, this is Virginie, hello, sweetie, would Virginie Viard, because she left just 2 weeks ago now, almost, actually, no, not almost, exactly 2 weeks ago on June 5th. Would she come back to bow out one last time and to officially say goodbye to the world of Chanel by appearing at the end of the haute couture show, her haute couture collection that she designed, one last time? And obviously because she left the Chanel ateliers so abruptly 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, I thought to myself, and then we received the news that apparently, allegedly, one of the Van Time brothers that's living in New York signed off on her leaving. And then we heard that she allegedly left within 1 hour after signing off that she done. Not even enough time to say goodbye to the colleagues properly. It was rushed, okay? Coming to work on June 5th, Wednesday morning, stressed because, in 2 or 3 weeks you got a show to show, a haute couture show, so you're stressed, but you're in good spirits. And then just 2 or 3 hours later, you leave? It's over? Something happened. But then, what does Lena Nair, the CEO of Chanel, do next? How is she going to save face now that Virginie's gone? The collection isn't fully ready yet. There's still fittings to do, final touch-ups. I mean, 3 weeks is a long time for an haute couture show. There's still time to do a lot and to change a lot. So are you gonna kindly ask her to please at least show up for the end of the show, just to kind of create the illusion that everything is fine, you're leaving because you want to retire or what have you? Well, apparently, we are allegedly way beyond that. And this is the shocking news to me. My intel tells me that, no, they're not asking her to come back, to bow down at the end, to bow out and say thank you at the end of the show. No, now it will allegedly be named a studio collection with no official designer. And I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. Are you telling me that now they're not even going to credit Virginie Viard for the upcoming haute couture collection? Is this what's going to happen? Allegedly. Allegedly, 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 allegedly. I'm going to say it 1,000 times just for all of you who don't like me saying it. And of course, because I have to. This is insane. If this really happens, like, then I'm really done with Chanel as long as Lena is there, because that would be so rude. That would be very, very rude. I mean, if you're not even going to credit Virginie Viard for the last collection in any official capacity, then I have no words. Thumb up this video, though, because I've been working really hard to deliver these news for you guys. So please help the channel out. Thank you. It costs you nothing to thumb up the video. Even better, subscribe. But really, this would be the last straw. If not only they don't invite Virginie to come and say goodbye, but if on top of that they say, oh, this was a studio collection. Girl. Cha. So, my intel also says that everybody's walking on glass. All of the people working in the atelier are so disrupted by all of this. They you know, when you're working in a very toxic corporate environment, and then you can barely breathe because you think, oh my God, if I turn around too quickly, I'm going to offend somebody over there. They're like, so I've been told that everybody's allegedly walking on glass. There is a serious, and I quote, shit, I've been told, there is serious shit going down in fashion. And Chanel isn't the only one getting ready to crack, allegedly. Now, of course, we've heard the story about Dior, but that isn't really the big crack. The LVMH with Dior situation is something we've been known from many brands since years now. But whole houses are allegedly on the brink of just falling to the ground. No one knows who the next designer will be at Chanel, because, drum roll, apparently nobody wants the position. And I'm like, oh my God, this makes sense. Because, I mean, everyone that could rein it back in and kind of pull Chanel back up, all of the people that have that strength, knowledge in prêt-à-porter, but also knowledge in haute couture, the people who have the strength to do 10 collections a year, to be able to manage the crazy CEO and management and marketing teams, and at the same time, your ateliers, all of your departments, the people who actually have that knowledge, power, and energy, my intel says all of those people are either already retired or very comfortable where they already are. And they don't want to risk losing their other job to come into an environment so toxic like the current Chanel environment is. So isn't this wouldn't this be an interesting turn of events if Chanel could not find a replacement because nobody wants the job? The stakes are too high. And if you're that good at your job, you already have a position, a very safe position in a place where you're cozy and comfy. You don't want to disrupt that and go to work for, Lena the Baconator. Makes sense. shocking, but kind of also like, yeah, when I read it, I was like, oh, well, you know what? Kind of makes sense, right? Kind of makes sense. This whole thing with Dior using the hot house workers, this is kind of internal lingo. And Chanel, got caught doing the same thing last year, allegedly, when we reported about it, with them kind of paying we were talking about this. You can go check out my video from over a year ago, really, where workers were giving interviews. They were working for a subsidiary, a company that was hired by Chanel to manufacture certain bags and leather, allegedly. And the conditions for the workers were terrible. They said that even in winter, they had to work without the heating being high enough, so their hands would start to freeze while they were working on the leather, and a lot of really nasty things. And that interview went quite viral in the press in France. So there you go. Very, very interesting. And, this is very interesting. So the word on the street is that most designers can see the writing on the wall for Chanel. Allegedly, quality has slipped too much. It's more toxic to work there than it has ever been. My intel reports, allegedly. And it's already been toxic before, apparently, and now it's even more toxic. So, my intel says the speculation right now is that Chanel will, by next year, either collapse or sell or go public. And if it does that, it's not going to be Chanel anymore. And my intel also says, keep an eye out for Dior. Their fall-winter production is going to be very interesting. Because allegedly, bags are not the only things being made in hot houses. Allegedly. There seems to be an insider that is letting authorities know who is using the hot houses. As they should. So the fall-winter release dates are going to be a little squiffy as sweatshops get closed or moved. So if the sweatshops can't deliver on time, the delivery dates for the collections are going to slant. And if you see your sales associates 6 or 7 months from now sending you text messages saying, oh, so sorry, we got a little delay in the delivery of the collection, you're going to know why the delay happened. Allegedly. And I also want to share with you very, 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 very interesting comments that my wonderful viewers, thank you guys so much. You have contributed so much to this conversation on my channel and with this ongoing story and the end of luxury and the fall of luxury. And your comments are wonderful under every one of my videos. So I've taken 2 comments here from underneath one of my videos as of late. So here's one. Somebody says, Dacob, I've been listening to all of what you are saying about Virginie. My husband worked at Unilever, where Lina Nair was head of HR. Listen to what my viewer has to say. My husband worked at Unilever for about 10 years on the food service side, and everything that is going on makes me shiver. Because this is so similar to what my husband experienced. There are other things I can tell you about the direction Unilever is wanting to go in with their company. And it appears that Lina Nair has definitely brought that culture to Chanel. Allegedly. Another commentator said, this is a true shame, giving 30 years to a company, Miss Virginie, and working with Carl something majorly shady went down. HR is at the bottom of this. I'm just reading the comment here, so these are not my words. Because a seamstress is older, you want to get rid of them? These are women with talent, and more than likely, these women worked with Coco. I'm so tired of hearing about AI. That doesn't take the place of something that is handmade and is quality. People that buy Chanel expect quality. Night shifts? They are doing that trying to make people quit. So I just have to explain here shortly. In my prior video, my Intel has shared information that allegedly Chanel is kind of implementing and introducing night shifts in the ateliers and for their workers to work, day and night, and people are not having it. So this commentator is speculating that they're introducing night shifts to make the people quit on their own without having to fire them, hence not having to pay them out, allegedly. So night shifts, they're doing that trying to make people quit. They figure that none of the seamstresses will want to work the night shift, so they will quit. Problem solved for Chanel. Disgusting. A 7-inch NDA agreement, it was alleged that Virginie had to sign off on a 7-inch thick NDA agreement, allegedly. Wow, there is a lot they are trying to cover up. I pray Virginie does not come to that show. They probably are banning her from it anyway. Another HR specialty. So sad. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. Virginie, you probably have the NDA agreements, probably, and also Virginie is not the type of person I've never experienced her in public, like media, social media, stirring shit up, stirring the pot, throwing oil into the fire. Like she doesn't, she's a very calm person, very professional, doesn't look for scandals. So I don't think that she's going to come out and talk about this. But Virginie, find a way to talk to us about this, to come out with this. I mean, if you're not allowed to talk, I said this before and I'm going to say it again, silence can also mean a lot. Absence can speak louder than words. And I'm saying this because, if you don't show up at the Haute Couture show, that will be a statement. That will be a very clear statement for all of us. So if you're thinking of showing up to the show just, for the sake of respecting Carl's legacy or Chanel's legacy, just to stay professional to the bitter end, I get it. Like I would understand you thinking that way, totally. But just in my humble opinion, you would pay much more respect to Coco Chanel and to Carl if you do not show up. Because that's a statement. You do not go against your NDA because you don't say anything, but not showing up at the end of that show is the statement. And if you do not show up, I will know what that means. If you do show up, then of course we're going to speculate some more whether or not they forced you to appear or they guilted you into wanting to appear or you just thinking you wanted a nice goodbye. It's too late for a nice goodbye, in my humble opinion. So, Dario Domenico says in the chat, Virginie is not going to show up because she is no longer a Chanel employee. Well, allegedly, because we don't know if she stormed out, but there's still a week left. You never know what sort of goodbye it was, what sort of cut it was, right? Technically, the specifics. AJ says, in the documentaries on Chanel's Haute Couture, the seamstresses often made it very clear that they don't want to do night shifts. Well, there you go. Maybe Lena was studying those videos saying, they don't want to do that? Let's make him do that. Allegedly. Yana Clark says, a friend of mine worked in HR until 2022 at Unilever and left after 12 years because she could no longer reconcile the development with her values. Wow, Yana. Zeitgeist says Chanel is dead. You guys, let me know. I mean, if you have any intel, if you want to share anything with me secretly, you don't want to leave it public in the comments underneath because maybe you're working for them or something like that, write me on superdacob@gmail.com. That is superdacob@gmail.com. And that's my email address. And you can write me, whatever intel you have, and then, we can start a conversation there as well. And as far as AI goes, because there's been a lot of conversation about a lot of the ladies in the atelier, and also Virginie being angry about allegedly Chanel wanting to implement more AI, let me tell you what I did. A little whimsical, but also tragic way of ending this video. I have been thinking about which designer could take over Chanel and would have the least amount to lose, meaning not a designer that's working in a very prestigious house and has a safe position. They would have to quit their job with that prestigious luxury house to go to work for Chanel. That would be having something to risk. I've been thinking which designer doesn't have anything to lose at the moment. And I thought to myself, well, that would be Jeremy Scott. Jeremy Scott at the moment doesn't have anything to lose. And we do remember Carl in the 90s having said that he could see Jeremy Scott taking over after him. But that was in the 90s. Who knows what Carl would say today? So I thought to myself, let's combine Jeremy Scott with AI. And here's an example of how terrible AI can be for a brand, because I prompted my AI Bubbles, the bot, to envision a collection. And by the way, I respect Jeremy Scott a lot. I have a ton of Jeremy Scott's clothes in my collection. So, quite frankly, I believe that Jeremy Scott could deliver wonderful prêt-à-porter for Chanel, and I believe that he would take it very seriously. So what you're about to see now is something that I believe Jeremy would never do. So this is not throwing shade at Jeremy. This is throwing shade at AI. Okay, so I prompted AI to say, okay, fuse Jeremy Scott's style with Chanel. How would a Jeremy Scott Chanel collection look like? And this is what came out. Yeah. AI merging Jeremy Scott with Chanel. Now, you know what? Okay, so as a Jeremy Scott collection from a couple of years ago, sure. But this is not Chanel. So let's just look at this for a second. This is something that Jeremy Scott would never do for Chanel, just to be very clear, okay? And I respect Jeremy a lot, and I know Jeremy would actually do a great job. But what I'm trying to say here is, if it's true that Chanel wants to push more AI to design their stuff, this is the future then. Let me know your thoughts down below. And you best believe as soon as I have a new update, I'll be posting. Until next time, thumb up this video, subscribe, and never give up on love. Bye.